What? To spill the beans, which this whole episode gave us a lot of new info. Agatha All Along episode 6 released last night. We gotta talk about it. Spoiler warning, 3, 2, 1. So this episode is about William, more of his origin, backstory, a big flashback. And in the start of the episode, we found that Lilia was the one that gave him the sigil. Oh! Not long after, they had to evacuate everyone from the party because of the hex going crazy, which we get a perspective and a different point of view. William's point of view of the hex from the car, which we can hear on the radio Wanda's voice, and then the mom gets distracted and crashes. And on the crash site, we find out that Alice was a cop. R.I.P. After the hospital, when William comes home, he's able to hear his parents' thoughts. Oh. And he needed a little bit of break, so he went to his room, and we get a little bit of a tour of his room, which you can see some of the posters behind him in certain areas like Alice in Wonderland, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, The Black Cauldron, which I haven't seen that movie in a long time. After the room tour, we go like 3 years later in time, and then we meet this guy. And as they're trying to figure out things, he mentions Avengers. Oh. And he's like, we can meet a guy that was inside the hex when Wanda was doing her thing. And we find out that it's Ralph Boner. He's back. And that he's given a lot of information to William, including talking about Wanda's kids and his experience in the hex and stuff like that. Which Boner is looking a bit rough. So it seems like this episode is just showing how William was able to gather his information, find out who Agatha is and the witches and all that. Then it takes us to the moment where William breaks into Agatha's house and then he gets caught, and as he's running away on the road, we find out that it was Mrs. Hart, the one to stop him with her car door. Oh, great job. Then we go back to where we left off at the end of the last episode, where William tells Agatha that he is Billy. Oh, Billy Maximoff. And we learn that Billy Maximoff survived from WandaVision and transferred himself into William. And that senses that Tommy Maximoff is somewhere out there and is using the road to try and find that out or find him. Now this may look worse than Wanda Maximoff in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, of her doing all those bad things, trying to find her kids that weren't even real when they said her kids weren't real or anything like that, when they actually were, but I don't think Doctor Strange and them knew. And right at the end of the episode, as Agatha starts walking away, Billy's like, I'm not that nice, and starts walking away with a serious face, which I ain't gonna lie, did not look intimidating at all, and it was kind of fun. I'm not that nice. Don't mess with me. So this episode ends in the same spot as the last episode ended. Wow, great progress. Good thing this was the longest episode in the series and more of a flashback and origin of William, and that it was more of an information and learning certain things. And then next episode and stuff will start to get crazy, hopefully. Overall episode, not bad. Pacing was fine. We got a Ralph Boner cameo. I give this episode, like a 6.5 out of 10. What would you rate episode 6 out of 10?